Criminals may think they're outsmarting the system, but poor planning has a funny way of turning confidence into evidence. Stay with us as the consequences begin to unfold. They came prepared with a sledgehammer, stole 2 safes, and had a getaway car ready. Too bad nobody thought about the passengers. When your thief has to ride in the trunk, the plan has officially gone sideways. He came looking for quick money, and may have gotten exactly that, along with something he definitely didn't put on his shopping list: a criminal record, and possibly a prison cell. Three thieves walked into a cosmetics store and walked out with 3 bags full of merchandise. Apparently, their beauty haul cost exactly $0. A weapon, a demand for cash, and a quick exit. Apparently, this suspect thought the fastest way to make money was to skip the job application. The clerk handed over the cash, and the robbery was over. Apparently, these two thought a cell phone store was also an ATM, with very poor security. $20 chocolate items, 1 stolen tote bag, and a 16-week stay behind bars. That's 1 shopping trip where the checkout was skipped, and the prison gate became the final destination.
All the money. Give me the money. Hurry all the money. Take under the cash register. Let me get under the cash register. Under the cash register. Yeah, the 100.
They wanted cash and a couple of bottles, so they turned a late-night trip to the market into a robbery. That's one way to shop, but it's also a pretty good way to end up on a police wanted list. A late-night trip to Chick-fil-A turned into a robbery investigation. No one was hurt, but the suspect left with something he definitely didn't order: a police case. Two thieves turned a jewelry store into a 1-minute demolition project, smashing cases and grabbing valuables worth up to $100,000. Fast hands, terrible judgment. and plenty of broken glass left behind. He apparently thought recognizing him was enough to make the robbery look like a joke. It wasn't. Days later, police had him in custody, and the cash grab turned into charges for armed robbery and unlawful weapon possession. Skipped the phones and went straight for the cash, using a knife to get what he wanted. Apparently, this was his idea of a completely illegal mobile upgrade. He made it inside, got stuck figuring out the exit, and finally escaped through a window. That's not exactly a master plan. It's more like improvisation with a criminal record waiting at the end. A mask might hide a face, but it doesn't erase surveillance footage. Now detectives have video evidence and a suspect to identify. That getaway suddenly doesn't look quite so clean. Apparently, these five decided T-Mobile's checkout line was optional. Phones, watches, and cash all made it into the shopping cart. Walked in wearing a ski mask, pulled out a weapon, and demanded the store's cash before running off. That's not shopping. That's the fastest way to turn a liquor store visit into a criminal case. They came prepared, forced the employees to open the safe, took the money, and disappeared. The cash may be gone, but the cameras don't forget, and neither do investigators. She stole packages worth nearly $1,830, and police caught her the very next day, wearing shoes reported stolen from the same neighborhood. That's not just bad luck, that's leaving the evidence on your feet. A kitchen knife, a cash register, and a quick escape down the street. He may have thought the job was finished, but witnesses and surveillance can keep the story going long after he leaves. A $1,000 bottle wasn't enough. This thief also pulled a knife when the owner tried to stop him. He escaped with the booze, but left behind a violent scene and plenty of evidence for investigator 3 masked robbers walked in expecting an easy $500,000 payday. Instead, they created a violent scene, terrified everyone inside, and left behind a crime that could follow them for years. That's one seriously expensive bad decision. They didn't just rob the store, they turned the whole place upside down. Employees were assaulted, one was knocked unconscious, and the suspects ran off with cash and personal belongings. That's one terrible way to spend a Saturday night. Driving a whole truck through the front door just to steal jewelry? That's one expensive break-in. The thieves reportedly took about $200,000 worth of jewelry and left the store looking like a demolition site. $5 years and 4 months for terrifying a store worker during a robbery. He may have walked in thinking he was in control, but the courtroom made it pretty clear who had the final say. One of them handed the cashier a note stating that this was a robbery, while the second suspect stood behind him. Looks like even a robbery requires some paperwork. Too bad it's not the kind of paperwork anyone wants to deal with. Breaking into a house is already a bad idea. Doing it right in front of a camera? That's basically handing your resume to the police. Three men brought a gas-powered grinder and crowbars to break into the parking payment machines, only to find that those safes had almost no money in them. Too much effort for a disappointing score. Just 16 years old and already facing court over 2 serious armed robberies. 16 is supposed to be about school, friends, and figuring out what comes next, not figuring out how to explain 2 armed robberies in court. At 3:08 in the morning, most people are sleeping. These 3 apparently clocked in for a different kind of night shift, smash the door, grab the cash, and hope the cameras weren't paying attention. They walked in for the cash, cleaned out the safe, searched the employees, and walked away. Quite an ambitious shopping list. But unlike a normal purchase, this one could come with a criminal record and a prison sentence. hoodies, black bags, smashed display cases, and a getaway car waiting outside. This wasn't a last-minute shopping trip. It was a full perfume heist with a very questionable business plan. A masked man walked into Subway, demanded cash, and ran south. A quick robbery, but with cameras, witnesses, and a detailed description, that getaway may not stay a mystery for long. A Walgreens robbery in Bradenton turned a routine store visit into a police investigation. Quick cash may have been the goal, but the cameras were already keeping the receipts. Apparently, this Walgreens trip came with a very unusual checkout process. No shopping cart, no payment, just a knife and a cash demand. Not exactly a customer loyalty program. Two chairs, nearly $3,000 in value, and a 4:40 a.m. shopping trip. The only thing missing from this bizarre furniture delivery was, of course, a receipt. A red brick, a broken bank window, and a backpack full of clues. He got inside and grabbed blank checks, but apparently forgot that surveillance cameras were already keeping track of the whole business trip. A routine stop at 7-Eleven turned into an armed robbery. The suspect came looking for quick cash, but a few minutes of crime can create a very long list of consequences. The bowling alley was the latest stop in a crime spree, as the suspect smashed an ATM. Looks like the bowling pins weren't the only things getting knocked down that night. He walked up to the register, pretending to buy something, then suddenly pulled a weapon and demanded cash. Apparently, the shopping trip was just a disguise for a very bad career choice. Three people teamed up for a register robbery and even brought a yellow getaway car. If staying unnoticed was part of the plan, somebody definitely missed that chapter in Criminals 101. Imagine risking an arrest over 1,500 euros and choosing a packed pizza shop as your target. That's not a robbery strategy, it's ordering a large serving of bad decisions, with consequences added on the side. Apparently, the plan was, take the jewelry and worry about the consequences later. That's not exactly a business strategy. It's a shortcut to turning expensive watches and jewelry into an even more expensive criminal case. 3 men robbed a jewelry store in broad daylight, overpowered the owner, grabbed 2 huge bags of jewelry, and ran off without covering their faces. With witnesses everywhere, their getaway plan was basically a walking advertisement for the police. He didn't just take the cash drawer, he grabbed the card reader too. Apparently, the suspect wanted the whole checkout experience, just without paying for anything. They came looking for a quick score and ended up with an unsuccessful break-in on camera. Not exactly the kind of footage you want attached to your name, especially when detectives are looking for you. Two Rolexes, 1 broken display, and a very short-lived shopping spree. One suspect ended up behind bars, the watches went back to the store, and the second suspect is still on the police's to-do list. No checkout, no payment, no problem. At least that's how he seemed to see it. He took the merchandise, carried the bag out, and seemed to forget that the store doesn't give out free merchandise. A pickup truck turned into an unexpected shopping cart when someone decided to help themselves to the property inside. Six suspects worked together in a planned robbery, using a fake jewelry deal to distract the victim before demanding cash and assaulting him. They escaped in an SUV, but detectives later tracked down the vehicle and one suspect. In the end, these stories show how poor choices can unravel quickly, while courage and clear thinking can change the outcome. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed it.